sure. So.
Best line of the movie, there you go. Chris, I want to talk about Lloyd because it's funny you mentioned he doesn't have that many fight sequences because he's so brutal as he's so casual in the movie. He's like always kind of this on edge antagonistic presence even when he's just standing there talking to a screen. So can you talk about developing the physicality for the character?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the physicality is one of the big, trademarks of the character. That he's incredible comfort in his own body, and those characters who are almost, you're more scared of their smile than their scowl. They're so comfortable, it puts you on edge. And I stole from tons of actors. I took a lot of great things from a lot of people that I respect, but there was one moment, and I will mention this because I'm not going to tell you all the things I stole from, because it hollows out the choices. But there was one, I don't know if anyone's seen Tombstone. Val Kilmer is so good. He holds the gun in a certain way, and there's a scene where I kind of come in and I kill someone before Ryan.
I thought I recognized that.
He has one arm behind his back, and he's got the gun kind of poised right there, and I just ripped that right off. So, a little nod to Doc Holliday for that one.
Now, Anna and Kanush, I know we've talked a bit about the fight between your characters at the end of the movie at the castle, but it's one of my favorites because you're both so evenly matched, and there are like a couple fights like that at the end of the movie where it could be one person wins or the other, but you both just kind of choose to walk away, and I think it's just such a badass sequence. Can you talk about the choreography of doing that? Because you guys said, we chatted a little yesterday, that it got pretty intense when you were filming that sequence, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the choreography, cables going over your throat, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, with me.
No, I'm just kidding.
A gentleman, yeah.
Yeah, it looked very dangerous, and of course they take all the safety precautions and everything. They train you, they prepare you, they make sure you're doing it right, but still it looked pretty dangerous. And if I'm not wrong, Anna had some injury already, and she was really struggling, but I was happy because that kind of brought down her speed. And I felt safe. Jokes apart, but she went through it and she kind of pulled it off. It was an amazing sequence. It looked very fast. When I was watching it yesterday, I felt like, okay, did we actually do it that fast? It was very fast, very quick. And I think me and Anna, we both can be really proud that we pulled it off. I think so.
Between this and Bond, you've just had a year of like the coolest action sequences. Do you like this kind of physical action heavy role for your characters? You've done it all.
Do I like it? I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I don't feel like I'm doing a great job when I'm doing it. Then I watch it and it works. We pull it off. But on the spot, I feel like not amount of training will make me feel confident enough to look, strong and that I know what I'm doing. But it's fine.
I think we need to like rewind the movie and play it back and make her watch it again because it looks amazing. You look awesome.
Thank you.
And I have to say, she approaches it like she loves it. She works at it so hard. I mean, your training was like so intense.
Yeah, I did love the process because I just didn't know, I discovered so many talents that I have, like in the sense of like fighting and how my body moves and shooting guns and like, aiming and hitting stuff. And, it's a lot of fun like to discover that about yourself. And yeah, I have to between all the preparation and then shooting, we were doing this for like 7-8 months. So you have to like it. You have to lean into it.
Well, as I said, it came out looking absolutely awesome. Billy, you have had just an amazing career, amazing span of roles. Talk to us a bit about what appealed to you about this movie and this character.
Well, actually, when I was offered this part, I knew of the Russo brothers and their great work, and I thought, well, I'm honored to be asked to be in one of their movies, first of all. And then Ryan and I had known each other a little bit, you know, years and years ago when he was like, what were you, like 4? Something like that. And I love Ryan, and I knew about Chris. You know, I'd seen him before, and I thought, you know, he's a rascal. I want to work with him. And so, I mean, the whole package was really great. I knew the cast they were assembling, and when I read the script, I thought, I mean, to tell you the truth, what really appealed to me, other than the amazing people who are in it and who are making it, was the fact that I got to play a character that was sort of the heart and soul of the scenes that the character was in, you know. And as a parent, I loved playing the protector of my niece, this little rascal right here, Julia, and which came very easy for me. And it was also a challenge to balance being an actual CIA person who has to make life and death decisions, sometimes no matter who you love, and at the same time, you know, you're a human being. So, and it's a tough part to play, but I was amazing.
Yes, you were.
No, honestly, that's not true. I just did what they put in the script, and I did the part because. Honestly, I can't take credit for anything I did in this movie. It was all the Russo brothers and this amazing cast, and I just was happy to be a part of it, honestly.
Jessica, we were talking about how Danush and Anna were so well matched. One of my favorite things about the end of this movie, and again, we can talk spoilers because you've all seen it, is that when it comes to the fight between Lloyd and Six, there's no winner until Suzanne shows up and shoots Lloyd. I love that they're so evenly matched, but then she shows up and she's kind of like the ultimate dominating force. And we get a little bit of her complicated history between Denny and Lloyd and herself. So looking at this movie as a whole, would you consider her to be more of a heroic or villainous character?
Oh, I mean, because I played her, I have to say that I don't see her as a villain, but I think that what really attracted me to the role was how flawed she is. She's set up to be a victim. You know, we're seeing her constantly undermined, and you think, oh, we're supposed to feel bad for her. And then slowly as the film goes on, you go, and bullied people become bullies. Like, she is surrounded by toxicity at all times, and I think it's quite a natural progression for her. But if we were so lucky as to move forward with the character in the next one, I do feel that she is a villain.
What do you guys think? Is she a villain?
Anti-hero.
Decisive. Okay.
The answer changed for future Q&As.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is at the end when she's talking to Denny and saying, like, yeah, nobody better underestimate me. But Reagan, we have to talk about Denny Carmichael, because what a fun character. Reagan, you contain multitudes, that you can go from the most swoon-worthy to the most despicable in a matter of roles. Talk about your inspiration for this character and what you wanted to bring to it.
My inspiration was entirely Jessica Hennick, just villain coming out for all day long.
Wow.
No, I mean, it was actually a little bit. It was reading through what your character says about our history and about this kind of weird bromance between Lloyd and Denny, and kind of figuring out who does this and why did these guys get on, and what is that kind of common thread of villainy. And also speaking to our guy in the CIA, who shall remain unnamed. But it was discovering that there's a lot of experience. Like, these guys are way too young to be wielding this much power unless they are insanely focused to the point of absolute sociopathy. And so it's kind of building all of that together, and then just kind of thinking about like classic villains and like stealing from like Richard III and Iago, just people who enjoy being bad and sharing that with the audience, and then just channeling all of that into throwing a coffee cup.
You give dramatic, excellent bathroom sequences. Great work, you guys, great work. Now, Julia, you are just so fantastic in this movie. You hold your own against all these amazing scene partners. And you've talked a bit about how you love observing and pulling things from your various acting partners as well. So can you talk about some of your favorite moments that you took away from filming the movie?
I really enjoyed observing. I was a little too shy to ask for advice necessarily, but I definitely would watch. I would watch Ryan just put in so much work into what he was doing, and I just really want to thank you for putting so much into 6, and because he went really hardcore with staying in it, still being open to chatting, but still keeping in character. I really appreciated how incredibly hard he trained for this role. Everyone, but I was there for when Ryan was playing 6, so I learned a lot about staying in character and putting so much work into who you're playing and really putting yourself in their shoes. And that's how I learned a lot more about how to become emotional in a scene, because you put my ways that I put myself into my character's shoes, and I think her thoughts, and I try to imagine the world as she sees it, and I've got to give it to Ryan for that, so thank you.
Okay, I'm also going to put you on the spot a little bit, because I've heard a rumor that you do an amazing impression of your other scene partner, Mr. Billy Bob Thornton. Oh, yeah. Would you?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, well, here's how to do it now. So you kind of, you start going down into the depths of your speaking necessarily, and you kind of, you breathe through your talking, and when you do the B's, you gotta kind of I'll tell you right now, folks. When you do the WH's with the when and where and why, you gotta really bring it down. And gee, I mean, that's pretty much it. You
Now, hang on a second here. I don't sound like that at all. I don't say what, when, and while.
Billy, will you do Julia now?
Are you kidding me? There's no way in the world I could do Julia. No, I don't know. I don't do impressions at all. I mean, I'm really horrible at it. I can do a little bit of Robert Duvall, and that's it.
Well, that was better than I could have dreamed of. So thank you for indulging me. And a perfect segue that I completely set up for myself. For our directors and writer, talk to me a bit about the comedy in this movie, because it wouldn't be a Russo brothers movie without comedy. How much of that was in the script, and how much of that did you allow your cast to improvise or kind of bring to the characters as you were making the movie?
Well, humor is incredibly important to us. It's hard for us to take anything that seriously. I mean, you look back at our resume and from Arrested Development to Community, I think you can see shades of both of those in just about everything we do.
Paintball scene, come on,
yeah.
Community.
And so, we like smashing genre into unique tone. This is reminiscent in a lot of ways, or evocative as film fans. We loved movies growing up, so we try to create similar experiences for audiences that we had when we watched Die Hard or Lethal Weapon, or films that embraced humor and action. But we also have a very organic process in the way that we work. We love, everyone up here is not only the best in the world at what they do, but incredible storytellers. And you know, we love actors. They know their characters better than we ever will. They put so much thought and energy and time into it. So we appreciate feedback, we appreciate ideas, and you know, Ryan is responsible for you know, at least half of the funniest shit that he says in the movie. He is, you know, incredible at improvising and understanding quirk, and really, like, you know, created a character that you know, was sardonic, and he really, you know, has this terrible upbringing, and then gets conscripted by the CIA and is abused by the CIA, but still has a you know, a gallows humor about everything, and that was incredibly important to the film, and he was a great guide in that respect, in helping us find the right tone for the movie. Everyone was. I mean, everyone contributed lines and ideas all over the film. So we're facile that way, and you know, it to us, and ultimately it just ends up making a better story.
You all have such chewy, delicious dialogue in this movie. I prepped everyone beforehand, so hopefully you have a line, but I want to go down the line and start with Ryan. Is there one line of dialogue, either in the script or that you brought to the movie, that was your absolute favorite?
It's hard to choose. Can I pick one for everyone?
Yeah, can you please, yes.
Because I love because a hero is only as good as the villain. And I knew that when I saw Chris show up on set with a trash stash and white pants, I saw him limping away, and he went, "'Cause I got shot in the ass, Suzanne." I knew we were in good shape. And I thought our stuff, with how unsafe it was to throw a loaded weapon.
Yeah.
I also like we used to get out of my personal space. Billy Bob, I like when Billy Bob said, I'm gonna take the stairs. I think you improvised that.
You did.
Such a great line. Jessica, I don't know what you say to that guy in the bathroom when you won't let him come in, but it's hilarious. What do you say?
Oh shit, what was his name? Oh, it was just some innocent extra who walked in and I just went, "No, Matthew!" Poor guy.
I love when Reggae returns the personal space line. Julia improvised one of her best lines, which is that line at the end of the movie. And then when Dinesh says, "These people are not honorable," it's like the funniest line in the movie, because it's the understatement of the century. So there's a lot of them.
There are.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to talk to everyone. No, I just want to say my pick. No, you gotta go.
Now everyone has to do everyone, no pressure.
I love you, Chris.
I really thought that was going to get us off the hook. You know, I'll throw the ball back to Ryan. It's a shame that this is an action movie, and oftentimes with action movies you don't do those kind of outtake reels during the credits. But that scene where I first interact with Ryan and he says, "Oh, you must be Lloyd," and I say, "What gave it away?" Can we get just a reel of the responses that Ryan had to me?
He had like
Every single
7
take
different responses.
was different, and they were just, it was a shame. At the end of the day, I was like, I don't know how you're going to choose one. It's really a crime that these won't all make the movie, because each one was funnier than the last, man. Those are my favorite.
I love you, Chris.
You all aren't getting off the hook. I gave you all time to think of one. Anna, you are next. And you can pick other characters' lines if you would like to. I like
Well,
that.
I like when I tell Ryan that you look like shit. Yeah, I thought that was such a cool scene.
I love that too. Yeah, that's my favorite too.
Starting with that. You were very comfortable that day.
How about you, Billy?
Well, I had a really, really funny, like 3.5-page monologue that they cut out of the movie. And that was my favorite, but I'd have to say second would be when Lloyd is there with me and I'm very seriously injured. and I'm getting Julia the heck out of there, and I've got the grenade, and I have the pin in my mouth, and I repeat his own thing back to him. I thought that was kind of cute.
What about you, Chris? What about you, Chris?
I have to reiterate, I didn't know that was improvisation about the loaded gun. It's so good. That was totally off the cuff.
That was written.
Oh.
That was you guys. That was Joe. That was Joe.
No, it was written.
It was
It was
partially,
written
yeah.
that night, if I remember correctly. I think we were just sitting around improvising
Oh,
with each
really?
other, and we wrote it down.
Oh yeah,
And
right.
then the callbacks continued to grow as we went.
That's my favorite. It's so good.
Yeah, we did improvise that, and then at the end you said, "I'm gonna bleed to death if we keep arguing about this," and then I was laughing so hard, I just got in the car. Couldn't sit.
I also did like when I'm having my monologue at the end and you just started raising your hand in the middle of it. And I thought I have to acknowledge this. I was like, what do you have a fucking question?
I got a big laugh last night.
You did? Oh, good.
It's very fun. What about you, Reagan?
Actually, I was just thinking of what Chris was saying about how in control Lloyd is, and so I adore when he kind of secretly is out of control, because that's when you know you're actually getting to him. It's when he decides to beat up on two guys who are already dead. It's like unloading the weapon as he goes around the king. It's like, idiots! I think it's a beautiful touch, but also because she's too humble to do it herself, I promised Julia that I'd reference the Kick His Ass 6, which, I don't know if people know this, it was improvised and forced the guys to reshoot the entire scene because it was such a good improvisation so they could cover it properly. I
Yeah,
think that
she
forced-
initially did it off camera, and then we had already shot her close up, and we went, God damn it, we gotta go back.
That's talent.
Oh. Oh.
You're gonna ask me, or am I gonna have
Well,
to?
I mean, I can keep prompting you
No,
while
not
you're
in that
still
way. I
saying
mean, like,
right.
am I off the hook?
No,
or can I-
you both
Okay.
still
Someone
gotta
just
go.
said you were humble.
I'll pay you.
But you can pick someone else's if you don't feel like you have.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Well, I love the. I don't know if this counts as one line. I mean, I just love the. You know what makes me sad? Your small hands. That is so. I'm surprised no one said that. It's so funny. I love that.
And who likes cats?
Okay, not that one because I like cats. So I'm with you, Billy. Yeah, that was a big fuss between me and Chris on set, actually. We were like
Dogs versus cats?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love. After meeting Dodger, the dog. I mean, I love. Yeah. But I really love the because I got shot in the asses in him, and it's a great one. But your small hands seem to have taken the cake.
All right, Tanush, and you are not getting off the hook. I will tell you. What was your favorite funny line?
Mine would be when Ryan says at the end, "It's just another Thursday."
Yes. Like today. Oh my God. Just another Thursday where we're all here hanging out. I want to ask Chris and Ryan. I mean, and it's funny too that whole scene, the trash stash, the white pants, that was all improvised. You two are so funny when you're like slinging just, again, these insults to each other's face. Who broke character the most in those scenes? Or were you both completely method?
I think
in-
neither one of us
Yeah.
really broke, did we? Was that really
Probably me. Because every few minutes I'd have to ask Chris what the fight choreography was. Because it took me, it was so hard for me to remember, and Chris seems to have some kind of like photographic fight memory, where he can just walk in and see it once, and then he's got it. So
Been doing it a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they might
Throw it
have
a few
thought
punches.
I would lean in and go, is it a block or a punch? Or what? So I think that would be me.
I also wanted to ask, you guys have a really cool story about the Berlin scene in the car where Ryan and Anna had a very fun improvised line, if I'm not mistaken, right? Maybe?
Oh, about his ego being bruised.
Yeah, can you tell the story for that? I mean, that
Oh yeah, do you want to tell it, Ryan?
He's like, I've told it already.
Okay, apparently Ryan told me this story a couple days ago, and I don't remember it happening, but I will trust that it did.
Do you want to do it in like a Ryan?
You don't remember this?
I don't remember it happening.
Well, let's not tell it then.
Okay.
And I saw her going like this, and I told you privately at dinner. You know what I mean?
Okay, then I'll give us, if we're getting wrapped up, then I'll give us another last question for you guys, okay? Because the one-liners was a high point to go out on. Every character has such both an amazing badass and comedic moment in this movie. Can you talk a bit about your amazing ensemble and how you really worked in having a moment for each of them to shine and what you wanted to leave? Basically just an excuse to compliment how great they are. A nice way to wrap up, right?
Yeah. Look, Joe and I have always loved ensemble storytelling. I don't know why. Sometimes we say it's because we grew up in a large, like extended Italian American family, and we're just used to sort of getting together and telling stories and understanding how sort of the family narrative kind of morphs from one person to another. But if you look at our work from the very beginning, we're always working with ensembles. And I think one thing we like about it is, when we're crafting a narrative with an ensemble, we really sort of take time and step through the script and think about the storytelling from every single character's point of view. We'll sort of take the opportunity to just like frame the entire narrative as if it's this person's story, as if it's that person's story, and just really sort of think about who these people are and how do we fill them out the most. And look, we love to continue that process, once the actors start to become involved, and it's very, all of them, I know Joe was saying this earlier, but it's just, they're all filmmakers. So to be able to sit down and collaborate with them on their characters and build their characters out and discover things that we had never even thought of. I mean, it's one of the greatest parts of the process for us, and it certainly makes the movie exponentially richer and better and more exciting, I think, for all of us. I'll let Joe go into individual props.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go down the line and talk about what I like about each of them. Been here long enough. It's interesting, we took a cast photo yesterday, I think it was. I don't know, it all feels like it's been years. And we've taken a lot of cast photos in our life. But I remember looking around during that cast photo and going, man, this is a great cast. And I was so impressed. It's like being 19 again, you step outside of yourself and you're sitting in a theater, being a fan. And I had that moment, I had sort of an out-of-body moment just looking at the cast going, we're just so fortunate and so lucky that we were able to get all these people to say yes. And so we're very grateful to all of you for going on this journey with us and enduring incredible amounts of pain and physical suffering to make a story for people. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. Our fans as well. Like I said, we were you, and now we're up here trying to give you great experiences that with your friends and your family, and hopefully if everybody likes this, we'll come back and tell a few more of these stories.
We were an amazing audience. You were an amazing panel. The Gray Man, of course, comes out in select theaters tomorrow, July 15th, and on Netflix next week on July 22nd. Let's give this amazing panel another big round of applause.
I love you, Chris.
And that's it. That's the panel. We love you,
I love you, Chris. Bring back Captain America. Are you a Red Sox fan, Chris? Mom? Hi, Chris Evans. Drive is my favorite movie.